Hello and welcome back to the daily practice. I'm so excited about this section because I have found that there is a huge missing link in the manifestation process that is often glazed over or not talked about at all. I find that one of the most important, if not the most important component, ingredient, step for manifesting the things that you want with intention and awareness is to intentionally feel the feeling of that thing. It's one of those things that is often overlooked, and even when people are writing lists about, the kind of partner they want to manifest or the home they want to move into, I find that they often don't go to thinking and feeling into how do you want to feel once you're there? How does it feel to wake up next to your life partner? How does it feel to walk into your home and look at a beautiful view? How does it feel to have the driving wheel of your favorite car under your fingertips? So these are really integral things, experiences that really, if you think about it, is what you want those things for in the first place. And today, what I'd like to introduce is a new section, a new daily practice where we intentionally feel the feelings of that which we are working to manifest. And I've chosen some of my favorite things, some of the things that I have personally manifested through this practice, and even some things that I'm currently manifesting and working on with you. And I think it's really, really going to be a fun adventure because as you'll see from doing this over and over and over again, whether it's sitting down on the meditation mat or on your couch or laying on your bed or taking this into your shower and feeling it as you are on the go, I think you will really see some amazing things that will come from this practice. One of the things that's really evident and clear for me in all of the times I've used this practice consciously is that the way that we feel is what is actually creating our world and is actually the undercurrent, the impetus, the inspiration for why we do what we do, why we say what we say, and how we magnetize wherever we go. So it's really important that not only are we clear on how we're walking around feeling and what that draws to us, but that we choose feelings intentionally and we resonate and we allow ourselves to vibrate and marinate in that chosen emotional state so that then we can start to align with the reality that that state would encompass. So for example, I manifested my car. My dream car was a Tesla. I really, really wanted it. When I first started doing this practice, I didn't even have a car. And so I thought, you know what, I can't quite manifest in my mind the reality that I can just buy a Tesla because I was not there in any way. And so that next step for me was, okay, I'm going to imagine driving my Prius. So I would literally sit at home in a chair and just imagine my hands around a steering wheel and just imagine what that would feel like in a Prius. Well, just a couple months later, literally months later, my aunt gave me her Prius and I drove that Prius for 2 years straight until finally one day I decided, you know what? I think it's time for me to go ahead and do that Tesla. So I started imagining as I was driving my Prius what it would be like to be able to have my hands around the wheel of my Tesla, not having to get gasoline, having a stereo that actually played Bluetooth because I didn't have that with my Prius, my beloved Prius. And so I would allow myself to be in that state for months and months at a time. And sure enough, in the most fortuitous but also most natural way, that reality came to being. And I'm so clear, I'm so certain that it was because I decided that that was the state that I wanted to be in. That was the creation that I was intentionally laying out for myself. And of course, there are so many other steps, so much work that one has to do in the physical realm, but also writing things down, manifesting money, manifesting the right certain elements and places and people. All of those things come into play, but the true belief that I could have that came from fully experiencing the emotional state, the feeling of that manifestation coming to pass. And, I have to also say, just as a quick anecdote of that story, I really didn't have to wait. I didn't have to go from one car that was my starter car to the next. It was just where I was emotionally, mentally ready. And I would just encourage you, wherever you are in these practices that follow, that you jump to the biggest leap that you possibly can of manifestation, but recognizing that it needs to be something that feels somewhat within the realm of possibility, because that will give you more ease to feeling that feeling, especially when you've never had feelings like this before, right? If you're manifesting something like millions of dollars, if you've never had millions of dollars, the feeling of that is one that you have to like gradually work up to. So when we do these practices, I really, really encourage you to use stepping stones if you need to, but at the same time, allow yourself to be stretched, allow yourself to come back to these practices every day so you can grow in your capacity to feel for more of what you so well deserve and what is coming to and what you're growing into. Because a lot of these things that we want, all these people that we want to be with or meet or connect with or work with or build, we also have to grow to be at the vibrational state of those people, places, and things. We have to also become the person that can hold that energy. And so that's one of the things that this practice is really about. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much for trusting me in your manifestation process. To me, this is one of the most magical ways that we can connect. I can't wait to hear about what this practice brings into your life. I really hope that you'll go through this consciously, that you'll really think about why it is that you want to create these things, that you make these things about what gives you more joy, more purpose, more connection to spirit, more connection to nature, more connection to the goodness that this life has to offer you, rather than making things appear or manifest because you want someone that treated you badly to feel like crap. We don't want to manifest in that way, because we remember that the way that we feel, we are now creating more of that feeling. And when we choose these things, we want to be very conscious, very aware about why we're choosing these things, why we want to feel this way. So my prayer for you throughout this practice is that you will consciously choose, and come from a place of, I want to feel more fulfilled. I want to feel more connected with who I truly am. I want to release the need to prove things to others. I want to totally and fully fulfill my reason for being here. When we start to come from that place, and we come from a place of being pulled towards inspiration, pulling towards what is calling us, instead of, haha, you guys were wrong about me, or I gotta get away from these people, they're gonna hurt me, then we are perpetuating that instead of pulling ourselves into new possibilities. Okay, I'm so excited. Thanks again. Make sure you leave a comment in all of the videos below so we can keep up with you. Thank you so much for being here, and let's begin.